Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emily if you're new here, which I'm assuming most of us are since I just started my channel. But I'm so glad you're here. Today I wanted to talk about my journey with social media and more importantly, my journey of getting off of social media. I'm laughing because I've realized I need to shut off my washer, my dryer, my ice maker, my bathroom fan, and then my chickens were squawking. I don't know, they get upset. Two of them were on one side of the fence and one of them was on the other, or two on one side and two on the other, and they didn't like that. And then my dog's running in. This one's laying here. I'm off work today because I'm not feeling 100% and I have a trip planned in a couple of days, so I wanted to rest up, which is such a luxury to be able to do that, but I have paid time off where I work right now. So I was taking a rest day and I thought I'd make the most of it, but my dogs don't understand why we're not going anywhere. So he's laying here sort of, you're gonna hear him like sighing and things like that. This is real life and I just wanna show up. You know, I wanna show up and feel really proud of what I'm sharing here, but I also, it's real life. And if I don't just get to it, we're just never gonna make any videos. So I am gonna show you some plants today, but I'm also gonna chat with you about social media. I recently deleted all my social media and I was just thinking about my journey with it because I got on it in my 20s and I moved away from my hometown when I was 21. And this all sort of goes together, but when I was first, you know, I joined the Navy when I was 21. And when I was in the Navy, I mean, we were still hot and heavy with snail mail, you know, and we didn't, I mean, email was even like a luxury at that time, because even if you had email, your family might not have email. This is what I was going to say. I see these and I've played with this and I just cannot, so we're going to go with it. It's the light of the Lord. So yeah, we were lucky to have email. And then I remember hearing about MySpace, but social media just wasn't, obviously it wasn't a thing. So I was like, what is this? Why would I want to do that? I don't understand that. Well, then Facebook came around and at some point my circle, the people I knew, started getting on Facebook. And I remember the first time I felt weird about Facebook was I considered her one of my best friends at the time. And I remember saying, oh, you're on Facebook. And she was weird about it. And it was almost like I felt like she wanted to keep our friendship separate. Like she wanted to be friends in real life, which is arguably more important. But it was weird. Like I felt like, oh, she doesn't want me to see her Facebook. We eventually became Facebook friends. And then time moved on. I moved out of Colorado. I ended up moving back to Indiana. And this is where Facebook became very detrimental to my mental health. So since I had been away, but then gotten on Facebook, I'd been away from my hometown for like 12 years. And then I got on Facebook. Well, it was like all those people just came right back into my life, you know, front and center. And so I got invited to a party here and a party there. And before I knew it, I was going out way more than I ever had in my life. I mean, I did not drink in my 20s, genuinely did not drink in my 20s. And then in my 30s, like mid 30s to like early 40s, I think it was like, you know, I was going out with these groups of ladies and it would be this weird energy of like, I was like showing off or something. Like, I don't know, like, it was just a very weird energy, but somebody would always take 50 pictures. You remember those days, right? And then they would just all over Facebook. And I don't know, I just got caught up. Like I'm in the cool kids club. I don't know what it was. It was bad for my marriage. It was bad for my friendships. It was bad all the way around. And then a friend of mine's daughter she was wrapped up in this horrible sextortion case, horrible. And I just got off of Facebook at that point because the idea of someone stealing my photos of my children, it rocked me to my core because I'm so sensitive that I was just like, no way. And they had actually, the person that was sextorting my friend's daughter, actually had grabbed a picture that was of her two girls and my kids for one of their like weird rants they did on Facebook. I mean, I don't know why they even grabbed that. I think it might have been her cover photo. So it was like he was blasting the mom too. And it was so uncomfortable. I was like, I'm off of here. And then time goes by and I'm like, oh, what's everybody up to? So I get back on there. And I wound up getting on Instagram at some point during all of that as well. And I really liked Instagram for a while. But then the same thing that was happening on Facebook started happening on Instagram, where it was like fear of missing out and comparison and people comparing themselves, like just with where we all were in life and fitness and everything else. And I had this big falling out with this group of ladies in a Zumba class. And I don't know if Zumba is still like this, but back then it was like it didn't matter what Zumba instructor it was. They were all put up on a pedestal. Zumba's almost like a cult, I swear. And the instructors are always put up on this pedestal. So I was going to the same Zumba class 2-3 times a week, and we were all sort of becoming, acquaintance friends. And some weird stuff happened, and I just started to pull back. And then they all like unfriended me, unfollowed me, and it was very painful, and I felt way too old to be dealing with this kind of stuff. But I stayed on. I think I got off of Facebook at that point. And that's always been a challenge because I do live far away. I ended up leaving Indiana again. So I ended up leaving Indiana again. And it's easy to feel like, well, I should get back on there for family members and things like that. You know what I decided is if someone really cares, they're going to text me or they're going to call me. And if they don't, they were never worth it anyway. I am so over having fake friendships. I don't want to see, I get actually very hurt. I actually had a dream that my friend's daughter was pregnant. And I texted her and I said, I think your daughter is going to be pregnant soon. And then I see on I see on Instagram that her daughter's pregnant. And I'm like, you didn't even think to call me or text me before you announce. That's not the world I want to live in. I just don't. I don't want to read on Facebook that one of my best friend's daughters is pregnant for the first time. And it made me reevaluate so much. Well, then I got off of Instagram altogether as well. So that was really phenomenal choice. So I had gotten off of Instagram and then I got back on it because I thought it would be a good instrument to market myself. I had taken an intuitive animal communication class and a psychic medium class, and I realized I had a knack for it. So just a side note, I feel like everybody has this innate ability. I don't think that people are just like gifted. It's the same thing as like anyone could play the piano. Some people are born and they're just like come out of the womb like ready to play, and some people have to work at it, but it's the same kind of thing. So anyway, I thought, oh, what better way to reach people than Instagram? And I had about 1,000 followers on my main account. So I went back to that account. And then I thought, oh, the energy's really weird here because this was like my original account, and then I've been through like Beachbody Coach, I was a like plant account for a while, I was a fitness account for a while, I was a hiking account for a while, I was at this, I was at that, and I just thought, oh, the energy's just weird here. So I'll start a specific Instagram for animal communication, for my animal communication business. And I did, and I worked really hard at it, and it was really frustrating because it was just like crickets. So then one day I got the bright idea to go into TikTok. TikTok is not crickets. I mean, people are more generous there than they are on Instagram. They will follow you, they will like your stuff, they will comment because TikTok rewards that. But I wasn't making any genuine connections, and I also realized in all that I prefer referrals because people are wild out there. So I just wound up not needing social media to market my business anyway. I'm like, I just need referrals, and then that way these people are vetted. And in the meantime, I kind of just decided to put all of that on the back burner anyway because I'm tired. I'm tired. I work 40 hours a week. My husband and I, we move a lot, which I'll get into that in the future, but we're always out doing something when the weather allows, hiking, backpacking, kayaking, snowshoeing, skiing. Like, I'm always doing something. So it also was always stressing me out to have my calendar open because I don't know how I'm going to feel that day. And as I get older, I just don't want to do things that I don't feel like doing. The final straw for me with social media was when all this ICE stuff started rearing its head up recently. And when Renee Good was killed, I started following all these different political accounts on Instagram because I felt like if I was a good human being, a responsible human being, I had to stay informed. And I started just obsessively watching political video after political video, and it's almost like you can feel your cortisol spiking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I genuinely felt like I was gonna have a mental breakdown. I was like, I cannot handle this world. I was spiraling. I think the kids call it crashing out now, but I was spiraling, I was melting down, and I just sat in meditation and I just asked God, and to me, it's God, Spirit, Universe, Jesus. I'm like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And the message was, get off of Instagram. Get off now. Get off of Instagram. So I deleted the app, knowing I had to go in and delete the account, but I at least deleted the app. And then a funny thing happened, because I actually, sort of as I implied before, I sort of enjoy TikTok. So I was like, TikTok's not causing me stress. It's a lot less political, my feed over there is. But then I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. I think when you step away from social media, I think if you step away from social media, probably regardless of if you are a creator or not, or you post a lot or not, you see how ridiculous it is. TikTok really had me outside dancing barefoot in the snow in my yard, And that's fun, and I'm not saying we can't have fun with it, because we can. But it was just preoccupying me way, way, way too much. And moving forward this year, my goals are to grow my YouTube, grow my Substack, and do the artist way. So those are my 3 big goals for this year. Now, having said that, I'm also working full time. I have a trip planned to see my son. I'll do a backpacking trip in the fall. And we have a lot of other stuff going on. So I have to be realistic and not burn myself out. And so I think that's really where clearing, deciding hey, I cannot keep up this facade on Instagram and TikTok, especially with reaping no benefits. It wasn't really, my accounts weren't really, my TikTok is growing, but the energy over there is pretty wild. My Instagram is pretty stagnant, and you just have to work, in my opinion, way too hard to connect with people. And then I don't know, one day I was on YouTube and I saw this long form content that I was really connecting with. And I realized how much I miss sharing long form content, because I mentioned in a previous video, I'm sorry, whatever's going on feels a lot like allergies. So I'm really resisting itching my nose and mouth, and it's kind of driving me batty. But anyway, these dogs are making me feel so bad. I lost my train of thought fully. But I think the nudge to get off of Instagram and TikTok are another avenue to allow me to make space for what's to come next. And I watched this video. Oh, that's what I was saying. I stumbled on some videos that I really resonated with, where the creators were just talking, just like this. It was nothing fancy. A couple of them even said they don't edit. And I just thought, wow, what is that? What would that be like if I could just show up as myself? And it's still a challenge, because I'm a highly sensitive person, so I don't always feel like talking, to be honest with you. And then, I wasn't feeling great this morning, but I really wanted to do this video. So then I have to take a shower. I had to eat. I had to caffeinate, but not over caffeinate. All the things. And someday I might be more ready just to show up, if rolling out of bed, Emily shows up, that'll be fine. Right now, I'm not there yet. So as promised in the beginning of my video, I'm going to share some of my plants with you today. And I'm not the best with names, so be patient. Also, I've been a plant hobbyist for maybe 5 or 6 years. So feel free if you want to comment below and tell me what plants I have or give me any tips and tricks. I'm cool with that. So I know this is a Monstera. Isn't it just a Monstera Delicios? Delicio. Yep, that one. And I actually got this one at Walmart, which was shocking to me. I was so excited when I found her in Walmart. I was like, are you kidding me? And now she's given me, got another new leaf. Eek, and I can't wait to see. So somebody tell me, the new leaf is coming off of a leaf that doesn't have any holes. Yeah. So, but I feel like this leaf with the holes came from this one. So I don't know. Somebody tell me about that. Do the leaves with the holes only make more leaves with holes or no? So this one, I think my daughter's cat still lives with us, and I think he gets into my plants sometimes. So I actually brought home this from work because I feel like she's getting a little wobbly. And I was thinking about maybe just sticking that right in there. So I might do that. Talk to me about your Monstera and how you keep them happy, because I had a great big one of those and I took it into work and I ended up, it didn't go well. So this is just a Swiss cheese Monstera, and the mama plant is over here. Actually, one of the times recently it really killed me. So I did social media for a company for a couple years, and I actually had to have a Facebook to use Meta. So I did, but it was like very private and I didn't friend anyone or anything like that. And then I canceled that one, or I deleted that one, and I wanted to sell plants. So I got back on, and I even used my husband's clan name, McGregor. So I was Emily McGregor. I wasn't even going to be Emily Dunn because I just didn't want anyone to find me. And like, what am I hiding from, right? And my dudes, I was selling plants on there pretty successfully, and I had to get off of it because people wouldn't stop messaging me for my plants. So that's me. That's me in a nutshell. Gets on Facebook to sell plants, can't handle the heat, had to get out of the kitchen. So yeah. So this one has a funny origin story. I think it's funny anyway. An old friend of mine, we were coworkers, turned friends, and since the friendship has passed, but it has passed on. This plant was for sale, and oddly at Walmart, because they don't usually have plants by the checkout in my experience, but this Walmart was like a big one, and it had plants, and this was one of them, and I can't remember, it's a type of pothos, but I wanted to show you this leaf specifically, because can you handle that? Like, I don't even know. She's got white on her. She must be really happy. So, but my friend, I go, oh, look at that beautiful plant. And she's like, oh, are you gonna buy it? And I think I was traveling, and I'm like, I wasn't really planning on spending like $25 on a plant today, so no, I'll pass. And she just reaches down. Don't do this at home. She just reaches down and takes a cutting of it, and she gave it to me, and then we fought over it a little bit because she was like, is there enough for me? And I said, no, absolutely not. Because her cat was totally chewing up all of her plants at the time, which is, for one thing, I know a lot of plants are poisonous to cats. So anyway, I was just like, no. So kind of funny story here. And we've been through it. I almost lost her, and then I regrew her, and I have a vine of this and another plant that if I don't show you today, I'll show you soon. It's been on my wish list for a while, and I had two friends that asked me for my birthday what I would like, which I think is so sweet, because you get to be a certain age, and like, my parents don't send me anything, and my kids, they don't think about it really. And my birthday's right after Christmas, so it's like, you know, I buy myself what I want, you know, but Anyway, two of my girlfriends this year asked me what I would like for my birthday, and it's hard to, they're like, do you have anything on your wish list? And it's really hard for me to say, but I was like, you know what? I do. I had this plant. I know it's a Hoya something or other. And she came with 4 leaves, but I didn't think about it when I asked for plants for my birthday in January that I live in Montana. So I lost 2 of these leaves to frostbite. And I actually reached out to the lady and she was going to refund it. And then I said, actually, I really want the plant. And if I pay for shipping and the heat pack, because I'm not sure if the original package had heat pack, which is okay. She said, oh, I'll do that. But then we've had this super cold snap across the country. And so she's holding all of her shipments right now. So hopefully I'll get it replaced. I was pretty sad about it, that I lost 2 of the leaves. And I was kind of mad at myself for not, reminding to do not reminding her to do the heat pack. And then my other friend, I've had this one for a long time, and I knew when I bought it that this was all she would do. But my other friend, so it kind of had a blunder with both of them. She sent me one like this, only it's variegated, and it was a single, and I'm not sure how that happened. And I'm not ungrateful, but I just was worried. I have a thing about money, and so I was worried she paid for like an actual plant, and then we got a cutting. But sometimes you just gotta go with it. Just gotta go with it. It's what I was meant to get, so it's what I got. So that same friend lives in San Diego, and when I was visiting her, she gave me some plants from her yard. And this one, I can never remember if she's cilantro or basil, but she's heaven. Genuinely, so good. Almost smells like spearminty. But she's so cool, and like the way things grow on here are really cool. Like if a piece, I'm trying to look, oh, here's a good example. If a piece falls off in the middle of the, how can I show you that? Oh, it's right there. It will just grow more, like right on the spot where, like if something falls off. So the whole vine is bushy, and you can see these brand new little ones. Hopefully, it's just so cute. I just love it. She's so easygoing, and she's fun, and she's like kind of like me. Oh, maybe that's why I like her so much. Oh shoot, I love her. So this is another one Jenny gave me while I was there. It was a jade. It was just growing in her yard. And we've had a little bit of a hard time. Jades should be pretty straightforward, but it is winter in Montana. So I have these 2 windows. This is a rental, and these 2 windows are my best options. I also have grow lights. I've got these. Oh, do you want to say hi? I've got these, and then I've got just a regular lamp with a bulb in it. And it seems to work pretty well overall. So who else wants to meet you today? I kind of am a big fan of, I'm pretty basic with my plant collection. I love these because they're easygoing. They produce the cutest little flowers. Like I said, we move a lot, so this size pot is really nice for me. I have to be really cognizant of what I'm bringing into my house because we are moving again in June. And I have a lot of plants in my office at work, but I don't want to stress myself out. But what I love the most about this plant is I could just chop the tops of this off and either put it back in this pot or a fresh pot or whatever, and just start another plant or make this plant bushier. I know you can propagate a lot of plants. This one just, I don't know, she just really tickles me. She's hardy. In my house in Indiana, I had a huge one of these, and I was propagating it, and I dropped a piece on the ground, and it wasn't a very attractive piece, so I just left it, and it rooted in the ground and started growing. And I have often wondered if they ripped out all my plants or if it's still there. But she just, underrated, I think, probably underappreciated, but you can count on her. She's like my stepmom. She's sturdy. She's always going to be there. No fuss, no muss. So I think I might hear a kitty. All right, who's next? This is my Philodendron Micans, and she's actually fussier than you'd expect for a philodendron, or fussier than I would expect for a philodendron. She looks really, really good right now. But I find that she's not as tolerant as like a pothos or other types of philodendron as far as hardiness. She doesn't like change for sure, which is hard because, like I said, we move a lot. So that was my dog dropping a bone. Oh. I'll show you this. What is this? A plie peperomia? Something? Anyways, pancake space. So this one I love. She doesn't really love me back. We're doing better now. I'm not sure what changed for her, but I had a beautiful one of these before I sold my house, and I sold it to someone, or I think I gave it to the people who we hired to clean our windows before we put our house on the market, because she was enamored with it and they did such a nice job, and I felt terrible because I didn't realize that I diffuse essential oils and I didn't realize that was going to make the cleanup harder for them. So I'm pretty sure I wound up giving it to her because she asked if she could buy it. And I don't know, I know this is a pretty common plant, but I don't know why we have a hard time. I mean, she probably would appreciate if I'd stop doing that to her, but anyway. Oh, and this one. So I'm a sucker for terracotta, and I'm a sucker for a good deal. So I like to go into the thrift store occasionally and see what's up. And I found this terracotta pot in there, and I knew immediately I was going to put her in there, and I just think she looks so stinking cute. I hope this light isn't really annoying. So anyway, she's doing pretty well in there. Again, her and I have been on a journey. I don't know. I don't know why she's got so much spacing between on that one, but not on that one, and not on that one. So, I don't know. This one I think is fun to share because a coworker, this is one way that as an introverted, I'm not shy, but I only have so many words every day, and it might not be your lucky day. So I only have so many words in a day, genuinely. And so small talk is just really taxing on me. But if we can talk about books or plants or nature or something, then that's better. Anyway, I had an old previous coworker. She gave me one piece and then water. Yeah, it was a cutting in water, and it took forever, and it finally rooted. And then at some point I got another leaf, and then at some point I've gotten a third leaf. So yeah, this is definitely a test of patience and time, but I kind of like it. I know I could just go, to the plant shop and buy a really well-established one, but I like plants with a fun origin story. Now this is my beautiful prayer plant. She is mother to many. What happened to you? Oh, well, we'll get that later. So, do you take off of your yellowing leaves or do you leave them on? I've heard it told both ways, that you should take them off and that you should leave them on. So, it just depends on my mood. But anyway, this is my lemon lime prayer plant. And I had her at our visitor center over the summer. And she got great light and everybody just loved her. She made a lot of people really happy. And I have propagated her a lot as well. Like I said, mother to many, so I love her. I think I originally got her at Home Depot. Okay. So I love this one. If you can see her. She flowers a lot for me. Yeah, she's kind of hard to see. I'll have to try to film her another way, but I put her, I connected her to this because I wasn't sure if she was, what she was gonna do. So, and then again, there goes the cat. I know that was the cat. My dogs genuinely just don't get it. There's one right there and one right there, and they're just... Okay, now I'm gonna go grab... Yeah, I'm gonna grab the last plant that I'm gonna show you today. It's my lemon lime philodendron. So this beauty, I got her at our local plant nursery, and I got her at the end of the season for 75% off. So I was pretty jazzed about that. And she had lots of vines, so I looped them all around here because I wanted a nice full plant at the top. So that's just what I decided to do. And I think she looks really cool. I think she looks really Dr. Seuss-esque. And then I have another one of these at my office at work that I got on my birthday last year, I want to say. I wish I had a hook right here. Last year on my birthday. And she's doing really well too. This was the only plant that I ever had tell me they did not want to be propagated. So we'll get into that more. So in addition to talking to, well, people in spirit, loved ones in spirit, and animals, I learned I can talk to trees and also to plants. So what I mean is, like, say she was not doing so well, or I just want to see how are you doing? Like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? So let's try to do it live. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I am curious how she's doing. So I'm holding her with one hand, but if I wasn't, I would just put both of my hands like this, like just right outside of her, and I always close my eyes. So all I really got from her, what I got from her was, she knows that I've been thinking about her pot because I have to water her quite often. So I was starting to wonder if she needed a new pot. And she just told me she does not want a new pot right now. So she just actually just asks if I could just leave her alone and keep watering her like I've been watering her. So that's what we're gonna do. And that's what I got from her. Like, I'm not sure when I would feel ready to repot her. Maybe if I saw roots coming out the bottom or something, but right now I don't see anything. Do you? I don't see anything, and she looks good. So, and she's got a lot of new growth happening around, so I think she looks good. So anyway, I'm gonna go hang her back up, and I'll be right back. All right, so I guess that's it for today. I realized once I got into my plants, I completely forgot about our topic of social media, but I just really encourage you, especially if you're a highly sensitive person, I encourage you to take a peek at your life. How are you spending your time? What's draining your energy? If you need to make some changes, what are they? And I always try to focus on how I'm going to feel after I make a change, because, you know, change is not always, change can suck. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Emily in the Wild. Do you want to say hi? Come here, you. Come on. Jump. jump. Oh, Henry's got to say hi. You gotta say hi to the cameras this way. My camera shy boy. I'm actually